Do I have? Yes, I have sound now. Oh, I have been talking for a couple minutes with no sound. Thank you for the folks who said no sound, but my little icon thingy says that I have sound now. So I would appreciate if somebody can tell me that you can really hear me now. So yeah, I wonder if I can cut down the first minute or two for the replay. Oh, so yeah. As I was trying to say, today is Saturday, the 13th of April, very close to tax day. My sister is counting down the hours that she has to finish putting in because she is a tax accountant, and tax accountants, basically have to work until the very last second. So yeah, she's been very busy. She didn't get home until after 9:30 last night. Uh, this week has just been horrible for her, but I will be glad next week when she can have a little bit of a relief. Um, for sound, my software updated, and I forgot to go look at the little sound bar before I went live. Normally, I look at that, and yeah, today I didn't. I didn't notice that the little sound bar wasn't moving, but life is life and it happens. It is a gorgeous day here in the metro Atlanta area. My computer says it is 59 degrees and sunny, which is gorgeous, except for the people who have pollen allergy. The they're one of the gals who works at my chiropractor's office. When I saw her yesterday, I was like, "You look like you're really tired, or allergies are kicking your butt." And allergies were kicking her butt. So I felt really bad for her, but hopefully the pollen will go down just a little bit, at least the stuff that she's allergic to. So I'm going to say good morning to folks now that I can be heard. Good morning, Charlotte, who was the first person who told me that I had no sound. Thank you for that. Good morning, Kathy. I do have sunshine where I am. It is beautiful. I should figure out how to get my outdoor cam out so that you can see what the weather is every now and then. Good morning, Vera from Texas. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Elaine. So, yeah, this has been a fun day so far. Well, I've been yelled at all morning. Percy has a doctor's appointment at like 12:30. I think that's when the appointment is, because I put in my calendar for 15 minutes early in case I couldn't get um, him in his little kennel. And he has been yelling and demanding food, breakfast. And I'm like, I can't give you breakfast in case the doctor wants to take blood, because I got yelled at the last time that I gave him breakfast and they wanted to take blood. So I'm like, you'll be fine. I give you some extra a little bit. Uh, yeah. So hopefully, whenever I get done with this live, I can get him in his carrier, run to his doctor's, and get him some breakfast first thing when we get back, because he deserves breakfast. Uh, this morning, I was going through my time hop on my phone, and let me see if I can pull up one of the pictures. Basically, 13 years ago today was the first time that I brought Jesse and Percy home. Or yeah, the first time. It was a day that they came home, and it was kind of funny and adorable. They were cute little floofballs. I'm gonna have the full pictures on my weekly vlog tomorrow. Golly, a lot has happened today in my history. Trying to get there, almost there. Oh, this may not come through. Let's see if I can get it in there. Look at the little floof balls. Look at the little floof balls. The really funny thing is they were all piled on me when my chiropractor had found them and stuff. So she piled them on me, trying to get me to take one. And they loved me so much that one of them fell asleep upside down in the crook of my elbow. So yeah, it was like just complete floof, floof, floof. So I'm gonna have those pictures in my vlog tomorrow just because it is so cute. And I didn't realize that it was 13 years ago today that they came home. So I got to remember to tell that to their doctor when I get there. Good morning, balloonist. Elaine says the allergies are wearing her out. Ugh. Good morning, Tessa and the traveling quilter. And also Katie, good morning. And Candace. I am going to be on Katie's channel in about a month. She pinged me through email recently and said, "Hey, you want to come on the channel and stuff?" She wondered how far out I am booked, and I'm like, I'm not really booked. If somebody wants me on their channel, I usually get asked, a day or two ahead of time, and I'm like, okay. I don't have a lot going on usually, mostly because if it's a weekday, I can't, and a lot of folks usually have their weekend stuff booked out months in advance. When Sean ends up asking me onto his channel, it's usually about a 6 to 8 week out because he has everybody booked out. And because I haven't started booking folks on here, I haven't really had that opportunity to say, what is my schedule? I need to start working on things with my schedule, mostly because I have no idea what I was going to be working on today. In fact, last night I was like, what do I want to work on? What do I work on? Because next week, the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Sew Along is starting. The first pattern comes out on Monday, and I will be sewing them here on my channel for the next 4 weeks when the patterns get released. So I'm was like, what do I do? It's almost like this is an in between time. The last couple of weeks I did other projects and stuff, so I'm like, what should I do? What should I do? So I'm just going to continue more work on the progressive pride flag. Let me get that next row finished up. And then depending on what time it is when I get those done, I'm going to do some more of my blueberry half square triangles. So I have a plan. It's an unknown what was going to happen, but it is going to happen. The traveling quilter says I need to get my agent to fix my calendar. It's more like I don't have a calendar. Uh, it. I admit I'm a young fucking channel. Just slowly getting myself into gear and stuff. I do have a little bit of a surprise project coming up with another channel. In fact, I have to go to the local quilt shop this afternoon to buy fabric for it, or see if I can find fabric for it. And then we are going to start coordinating when we are going to announce it and what weekends we are going to work on it. I'm going to work on it. It's going to be like 1 week is going to be on my channel, 1 week is going to be on their channel, and then we will come back together later and do the reveal. It's going to be a simple project, so it's not like, tons and tons of blocks and stuff. So that is up and coming. I won't tell you who or what or when, but yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about the pattern that we're going to do. My agent couldn't it for you. Okay, I think you're missing a word or two. I always find that funny. I mean, I miss words all the time. Fridays are fun in our work chat because my boss tends to forget half of the words at times. It's a little crazy. So I have, with my blocks, I have them in the pairs of half square triangles. I did the pairs on Wednesday during Stephanie's SO day because Stephen is in Australia. I popped in for a few minutes with them while our CFO was talking on a webinar. And, I just didn't want to listen to him completely. There was some interesting stuff we learned, but it was mostly I don't want to hear all of this stuff, so I just focused on getting some stuff sewn and a little bit of chit chat from the SO day. My agent could fix it for me. If anybody wants to volunteer to, hook me up with other channels to do SO days, I wouldn't object to it, but it's a little tough right now with my younger days of the channel. I've only been going live for. Oh, have I been going live for like 6 months now? I've forgotten how long I've been going live for. I also last week installed a mat underneath my sewing machine. So hopefully that reduces the vibration some. I have me up on the TV right now. I'm looking, and I'm about to do a big speed thing. And it mostly fixed the vibrations. I was yelled at by a friend of mine that when I go full speed and stuff, my camera vibrations hit a little bit too much. So I found a mat that helps. The traveling quilter could not see or could not type without her glasses. Elaine is excited to start the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Sunshine on My Mind project in a week. My friend Stephanie of Quilting with Stephanie Stitches is doing the tutorials for them. It's her and Kathy's Cute Creations that do the tutorials. And I am just basically doing a sew along on my channel because uh, we all know that the tutorial, like, I love Stephanie's tutorial, but I can't sew at the same time as her tutorial. So I said, I'm going to sew them on my channel, so anybody who wants to do a sew along with somebody at the same time, uh, you can. So that's what I am doing, and like for me, it's not a tutorial. I may do a little bit of this is what the pattern is talking about and showing you what I'm doing. But I'm only getting that from Stephanie because I do watch her tutorials. She does awesome tutorials. I love them. So I watch, like, when she's done any tutorials in the past, I'll watch her tutorial and then I'll turn somebody else up on the screen. And I know what I'm doing at that point. So what is everybody else working on? I'm just, putting pieces of a block together. We'll see if I can get all of them. can't wait to see what the first block is going to be for the sew along. The traveling quilter is going to go back to sleep, so pleasant dreams. She just saw that I was live. Worked the last few nights and will catch the rest later. Whether you watch live or watch the replay, it doesn't matter as long as you decide that you want to watch. I have a lot of folks that I will watch on YouTube, and I'm like, I can't catch your live, but I will sit here and watch the replay. That one I was able to translate, Traveling Quilter. It's always a thing of, people say, well, I got late to your live. I'm like, no, you arrived perfectly on time. There is no time requirements for arriving. And then they feel bad if they can't watch the entire live. I'm like, you can watch it on a replay. It doesn't matter if you want to watch it. And if you don't want to watch it, I mean, it's no skin off of me either. I mean, some people don't like all the content out there, so there is no qualms with saying, I'm not entertained for this live. I'm not going to watch it. Glasses or fat fingers, one excuse. Lunas is saying that Riley and she are heading out to help clean a city park with other geocachers. I've never done geocaching. I play Pokemon Go, which is almost similar, but not as exciting. When I went to grab breakfast, there was a group doing Adopt a Mile right in front of where the local Kroger is. They at least picked a good day to do any cleanup efforts. I think we are trying to get some cleanup efforts in the neighborhood. We have a creek. I call it the Stream of Sorrows because it's a mostly meh creek, except for that time that we got 6 inches of rain in half an hour. And I'm not exaggerating. We had bad flooding that day. And most of the time it's just a meh stream, and every other year we try to get a few of the neighbors out there to just do a little bit of cleanup because we get a lot of debris that comes down. So in case you can't see what I'm doing right now, I have all my seam allowances so far going in the same direction. So they're all pointing that way, that way, that way. And then on this side it's the same, that way, that way, that way. When you open it up, I kind of want this seam to go that way and this seam to go that way. So I just open this up and I just twist the seam. Some people will pop that center stitch, and I'm just like, it usually opens up enough for me. And then once I get them opened up like this, then I can put them underneath the iron, which is currently heating up. Katie says she couldn't get over how messy the sides of the highways and roads in Florida have become. Didn't used to have garbage. It It's shocked me everywhere. And then lately, I have been watching. No idea how he came up in my feed. There is a plumber in Australia that has shown up in my feed, and he's got some of the craziest. Uh, what are those things called? Plumbing situations. But he will show basically a few seconds of driving out there, and I'm like, good golly, it is gorgeous in Australia. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff from Stephen and Walter, how gorgeous everything is there, but it's just, I want to go there one day, and I've heard there's going to be like a solar eclipse around Thanksgiving in a couple years, which is Australia springtime. And I'm like, I wonder if I can schedule that, and then how upset I would be if it was cloudy that day. Good morning, Karen. Uh, Elaine says that creek is a nightmare sometimes. Her complex just spent a lot of money to control the erosion of the bank so we don't get flooded. Yeah, we've got there's been a lot of erosion complaints from the creek. Of course, we also now have erosion complaints because the culverts that run underneath our subdivision, they weren't done correctly. So they've started collapsing, and uh, yeah, there's a sinkhole in a couple neighbors' backyards. So apparently, the water division, stormwater groups, one of the groups is going to start coming out and evaluating what's going on. Um, I've tried to report some of the erosion that I've seen in the stormwater drains because water is not supposed to be coming through muddy. But nobody would listen to me at the time because, yes, probably because it wasn't impacting anybody directly. And then now that people have noticed it, like, well, I tried to get something done a couple years ago, and then now we have sinkholes happen, or sinkholes starting to happen, and who knows what kind of digging up they're going to be doing. My backyard, thankfully, as far as I have seen so far, is not impacted, but I don't know where the one storm drain there's um yeah, it's up against my neighbor's driveway. So I don't know how it comes across from the other road that's behind us. Whether it's just his backyard or whether it's um like crossing across my backyard or whatever. Maybe if it's in his backyard and they have to dig up the trees to get to it, they'll help get rid of some of his trees in his backyard that he's been wanting to get rid of. The previous owner to his house just let anything basically past the pool, which is a few feet off the house, go off into wilderness, and like a third of an acre, so it's not like it's a decent wilderness. There's a few trees that are down or that have come down back there. And my neighbor's like, I really want my backyard. He wants to have his daughter basically have a backyard whenever she wants to start playing back there and stuff. So he's not gotten a quote anything less than an exorbitant amount. So he's just saving up money. But I'm like, if they have to tear up the backyard, just tell them, okay, go ahead and tear it up. Just put dirt back. Don't put any trees back. Then again, if they start tearing up his backyard, they're probably going to end up tearing into mine because you can't get the trees out. You can't get the logs out of his backyard, which is why all the prices are an exorbitant amount. And I've told him, I was like, if we coordinate at the right time, then you know we can pay to get a fence installed, and I would be okay with that. And then you can use my backyard to get your trees out. But coordinating that, he still hasn't figured out when he wants to even think about doing that. Good morning, Sue. Yes, I did have Chick-fil-A this morning. I got a reward from my local Chick-fil-A in the app. I love using the apps because you get a lot more free stuff than if you just walk in and pay full price. So I had a reward in my app for like a free chicken biscuit, chicken minis, or bacon, egg, and cheese, or sausage, egg, and cheese. I ended up doing the sausage, egg, and cheese. As much as chicken for breakfast is good. But free is always better. It's my favorite flavor. I normally do Chick-fil-A for breakfast on Saturdays. When we were in our previous office location, we had a Chick-fil-A downstairs. So let's see. It got to the point where one of my coworkers asked if I had Chick-fil-A for breakfast every day, and I said, no, I can't have Chick-fil-A for breakfast on Sunday. But there were times where I had Chick-fil-A every day for I'm sorry, Monday through Saturday for the week. I've Since the pandemic started, I obviously cut that down because I didn't have a Chick-fil-A downstairs from me. I need to start bringing my breakfast back to work again. That way I'm not buying the breakfast sandwiches there and saving those calories. Good morning, guess who, Nancy? Kay says free is her favorite flavor, or free is my favorite flavor. Is she's stealing that from me? Yes, please use that. Charlene says free tastes great. Karen says chicken for breakfast is awesome, but still like a cold pizza better. I don't like cold pizza, but I will definitely heat up a pizza for breakfast. I don't know where I heard the phrase free is my favorite flavor from, but it's definitely the best flavor. I was, oh, good golly, how many years ago was that? I was at my previous job, so it was at least 15 years ago. So we'll call it 16 years ago. I was talking to this guy, and the company that he worked at, the clients would basically pay for their breakfast, or not breakfast, lunches for whatever reasons. And he started complaining. He's like, I don't want pizza again. And I'm like, well, you can buy your own food. You don't have to eat it, but you can't complain about free food because, if you're not paying for it, you have no responsibility to complain about it. Needless to say, he didn't get far with me. Like for Thanksgiving, I don't like turkey. I really admit that I don't like turkey. I I understand that turkey is some of people's favorite foods. So when I get invited to a friend's house for Thanksgiving, I will grab a small piece of turkey, but I will just go to town on the sides. And I will not complain because, free is my favorite flavor. That said, the friends that have been inviting me over for Thanksgiving the past handful of years, they fry their turkey and it's so good. So I eat more than a little piece. But yeah, I anytime that I am getting basically free food from somebody, I'm just like, okay, if you cooked it or if you purchased it or whatever, I have no say in anything. If it is, not my favorite or anything, because it then has become. Katie is telling folks to smash that like button if they would like. I am mostly in this for the, views and likes. So, does anybody have any exciting plans this weekend? Because it is a gorgeous weekend. I have been procrastinating, so I need to get my taxes filed. A lot of times it's just been I want to get my stuff done, but work keeps getting in the way. And then, weekends, I just run out of time. Kay says it's 69 degrees, so it has to go out and go do some yard work. Hope we all have a beautiful day. I hope you have a gorgeous day, Kay. Thank you for joining me for the bit of time that you did. Okay, and now again, because these center seams are pointing in this direction and that direction, I want these seams to twist as well. So you get a little bulky in these corners, but you can't twist all seams in all directions. I wish there really was a way to eliminate that bulk. And as you just saw, the couple stitches, they just popped out themselves. Yes, I realize Monday is the 15th. It's only going to take me like an hour to get my stuff done, get the stuff entered into the tax software, uh, and then hit submit. It's just been getting that hour. So this afternoon, I am setting aside a little bit of time right when I get back with Percy while he's eating his breakfast. I'm going to be getting my stuff, my taxes done, and hopefully my sister is that much closer to being able to log out for the weekend. I think Monday is a holiday for them in Massachusetts, so I think every time that the 15th is on a Monday, they have one extra day to work. If I remember correctly, because it's the Boston Marathon that day, and government offices are closed. I think the post office is closed, so I think that's why they get that extra day. Kathy's going to see if she can get pictures of bluebirds that are in the valley now and see if there are any prairie crocuses blooming where she can get some pictures yet. That sounds like a wonderful hobby. I tried to get some pictures of the solar eclipse on Monday. Failed miserably. I got some cool pictures, but because I didn't have any, or I didn't think to try to fix the focus issues that I had. I've never tried to take a picture of the sun. All of my pictures came out blah, but you know, I attempted. I still got some really cool pictures. So I was excited about that, and it was really cool to see. We had like 81.8% coverage here. So I'm really jealous of the folks who got 100% coverage. The last time we had a solar eclipse here, we had like 91% coverage. That was 2017. Sue says it's supposed to hit 85 in central Missouri this afternoon. Wonder what it'll be like in July. Not yeah. It's been crazy. It's been windy here, but it has been fairly temperate. Like high 60s, low 70s the past few days. So I'm not going to complain, but that's definitely not our normal weather here. And I'm really excited that the vibrations have all but settled. We'll see what a friend of mine says when he's watching the video later today. I honestly didn't realize that it was vibrating until he said something, because when I see it in the preview here, I don't see any vibration. Good morning, Nancy. You are never late. You are always perfectly on time. Landis says it's supposed to be high 70s in Denver. Oh, that's where the friend of mine, well, if he's made it back to Denver, he was in Texas for the week. So I don't know. I'm pretty certain he's made it back to Denver. High 70s sounds a little. Well, if it's inside, I'm not happy with high 70s. If it's outside, I'm fine with high 70s. Good morning, Jean. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Nancy says should be 78 in Wisconsin today. I had to sit and remember what WI was. Oh, Charlotte had a 99.8% coverage for the eclipse, but it was totally cloudy. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is my fear if I decide that I want to go try to go to Australia. I think it's the 2030 eclipse. I don't know where anything is, so I don't know if there's any decent cities that it would be over. I then, I was talking to a coworker of mine and said, that would be kind of cool if they had a cruise that was under the eclipse. Because the eclipse is going from South Africa over to Australia. So that would be a fun cruise to try to do. So if anybody hears of a eclipse cruise, I want to know all about it. Jean says it is raining there this morning in the Bay Area. That's no fun. Or it's perfectly wonderful because rainy days are the best day to stay in your sewing room. When I'm on conference calls and stuff and people ask how the weather is wherever we are, and I'm like, it's a gorgeous day here. And they're like, I thought it was raining in Atlanta. And it's like, yeah, that means it's gorgeous, except, I'd rather be in my sewing room than on these conference calls. Nancy is asking what I'm sewing today. I am doing a little bit of a continuation on the progressive pride flag, mostly because I had no idea what I was going to work on. So when I got in here this morning, I said, well, I haven't finished this. So that was a good excuse for me to work on it. This is the last row of the rainbow stripes. So honestly, I have to start thinking when I start working on the next rows because they're not the same thing going all the way up. So I'm gonna have to think. It's still half square triangles and it's just putting them together in strips like I'm doing. I just can't say, oh, well, this is green and this is blue. They go together. Or I can't make a patch of 4 rows of blue or something like that. So it's just not harder, just more thinking. Nancy says the flag is beautiful. I am going to be really excited to have this done. My goal is to have this one done and quilted and bound before June's Saturday sampler at my local quilt shop. That way I can show it off in their shop and say, look at what I did. since June is Pride Month. And then after June is July, and that brings me to other exciting news. Found out that a friend of mine is pregnant and is going to be due in July. I had been wondering for like 3 or 4 months since I've been seeing her, but you can't ask a female if she's pregnant. I mean, it's dangerous. Every time I've wanted to ask somebody if they're pregnant, they've been pregnant, but it's still not polite to ask. So I had lunch Thursday with a coworker, and I said, "Okay, I know I can ask you this without you getting in offended or anything, but is she pregnant?" And she goes, "I've been wondering the same thing, but I never had a chance to really ask." And I'm like, "I've been wondering this for like 3 or 4 months." So I mean, she's obviously showing, and that, so it's not like, um, the answer that she gave when she was asked by my other coworker was, "I didn't think that I had to tell anybody because I'm showing." And I'm like, yes, you still have to tell people when you're due so that if they want to make you a baby quilt, they have the opportunity to make sure that is ready for the baby shower. So I'm excited that I had to make another baby quilt. Uh, I was kind of hoping that it was going to be a little boy so I can use Tula Pink's um, Roar that's about to come out for the quilt, but it's going to be a little girl. And I don't think dinosaurs, I mean, traditionally, dinosaurs wouldn't be perfect for a little girl. A little girl may grow into loving dinosaurs, but I don't think the parents are going to be like, well, we'll decorate her nursery around dinosaurs. So I now also have to go figure out what fabric I am going to use for this baby quilt. Nancy says she did that once and it was very embarrassing. Yeah, I could not imagine going up to somebody and saying, "Hey, are you pregnant?" Because, their reaction is going to be, "No, I'm just fat," if they're not. And that's not a pleasant response to get either. So I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I know that friend, she knows me enough to know that I'm not uh, being hurtful if I was asking. And I was thinking about asking in the way of, "Hey, is there something you haven't told me yet?" Instead of flat out saying, "Are you pregnant?" So I'm like, okay, what do I do? Teresa says fairy frost is pretty. It is very pretty. I What I was thinking about doing is a quilt that is similar to the one that I did back in October for another coworker's baby shower, and do different borders just to, because that makes the quilt look completely different. And I just, like I said, I was hoping to do like um, Roar, because I think that whatever the T Rex print is called, I think that would be a very fun backing for a dinosaur quilt. But that's not going to happen. So I need to figure out. I'm thinking about maybe besties for for the um for the fabric to go around it. Okay, let's see if we can get this row on before I start to wrap it up. So yeah, I'm thinking besties, but we'll see. Like I said, I have to go to the quilt shop today, and if I can get away with purchasing for two projects at the same time, and because she's having her baby in June, it's scheduled for, I'm sorry, in July, it's scheduled for July. She has to have a C-section, unfortunately. And because she's got that scheduled, I don't know when she's going out of office or when they are going to have her shower. So I want to get that done basically in the next month or so, because that'll be that'll be ready for whenever it's there, or whenever the shower happens. I mean, last shower I was only given like 27 days notice. But because of the timing, I was able to, you know, find a, well, Stephanie was the awesome one who suggested just a simple pattern of putting a whole bunch of charm squares together. And I realized I had a whole bunch of fabric left from my fat quarters from the Socialites quilt. So that's how I got that one. And I think I'm going to do the same. So the same fabrics in the center, and then uh, maybe besties, maybe tiny beasts for the borders and backings. Sue loves besties. She has 3 yards to make a by any carry-all, but it would be great for a baby quilt. I Ever since I got the bags from Adam, of Adam Sews, I have been really wanting to make a by any bag. I I bought some by any bag patterns when I was in Massachusetts last year, and my sister, she wants all my guinea pig bags. So, well, that's interesting. I love it. A kid just rode her bike up my driveway only to ride back down the driveway because I've got a steep driveway. When it snows, I get upset when they try to sled down the smaller end of my yard where it's not as steep instead of the steep end of the yard over here. But yeah, my sister wants all of my trial bags because, she's like, well, it's still perfect anyway. And I'm like, yeah. And since I have the bags from Adam, I have the opportunity to take the pattern, dissect it with what I see from the bags, and she just did it again. As long as she's careful, that's all that matters. Um, so I can see what fabrics are where for what they're calling for and everything. So I'm getting more and more of an itch to make a bag. Maybe that's what I should do sometime this week if I can get a few minutes of downtime with work. Grab my patterns and put it together with, or line it up with what I see in Adam's bags and start planning my own. A third time. She must really love going down the hill. I've not seen her in the neighborhood before, so I'm not quite certain who she is. But as long as she's careful. Because I do not want anybody falling. So I'm not pressed yet. Oh, wait, if I can do that camera. I now have, basically it's the bottom two-thirds of it. I love the fabrics that they picked. And now I just got to do the top triangle for this. If I had, enough fabric, I could just put another 2 rows and call it just a traditional pride flag. But it's a progressive pride flag, which is a little different. It just has more colors for the other inclusivities. So I'm going to start wrapping up because it is approaching noon, and if you've ever tried to wrangle a cat, it's not fun. Though Percy has been a little bit easier and easier to wrangle. The problem is he likes to go hide under the bed, and if he's underneath the bed, I can't wrangle him up. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I apologize for the technical difficulties at the beginning, but things like that always happen, or not always happen. They can happen. I I will put a little note. Hopefully, I will have that checked every time. Make sure you check out all of the YouTubers who are streaming this weekend. I think we're going to get a little bit of a surprise stream from Stephanie and or Shannon because they are at Stephanie's Millersburg retreat this weekend. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that they're having a whole blast. Maybe not seeing ghosts. I think that's their ghost retreat. I will be putting out my weekly vlog tomorrow afternoon, evening sometime, with all of the shenanigans that I have gotten. Excuse me, I was hoping to hide that. So it's going to be a update of all the shenanigans that happened this week. You'll have a few bad eclipse pictures. You're going to have a couple cute pictures of stuff of the kids, and we'll see what else I can get through this afternoon. And then, all the fun stuff that happens throughout the week. So hope you have a wonderful day, and make sure you take a few minutes and get some good projects done. Bye.